Hi, I'm working on a new data visualization tool that uses or takes advantage of some of the latest and greatest hardware technologies out there, such as the iPad and the ability to zoom in and out on images. I wanted to see if you could watch this 2 or 3 minute long video and just give me some feedback about what you like, dislike, or what I should or should not add to it. First in this demo, I will use social media as an example, so we're going to chart social media information here. And if you notice at the bottom I have a key. So the reds are going to represent Chevrolet, the blues are going to represent Ford. The top numbers, so the lighter pink and the lighter blue, represent positive comments. The darker red and the darker blue represent negative comments. Now, as you can see, the first thing that makes this chart different than other area charts is as I move my mouse, and on an iPad you'd obviously move your finger, a line follows you across this chart. What this line will eventually do is this. If you look at the blue line here on this slide deck, you'll see that there are dots along the chart and they follow those numbers around. Now as you move your finger across, that line will move with you and those data points will move. You'll also see their numbers to the right hand side of the line. What those numbers represent, first off, the first number will represent the total number of comments that make up that area of the chart. So for instance here we'll stick with blue being Ford. There's a total of 600 comments between the positive and negative combined. The next two numbers show you the breakdown of that number. So you'll know 350 were positive and 250 were negative for that specific area of the chart. That functionality is not working on the live feature yet, but this next part is. So as you know, on an iPad you're able to zoom in and out. And when you zoom in and out on this chart, and on a PC you're able to zoom in and out using the Control plus and minus keys. You'll notice the data points that make up this chart actually start showing through the chart itself, to the point where you'd be able to zoom in on a specific data point if you would like. Now the advantage of this is not only are you able to look at this chart, and let's look right here at this point. You may say, what happened right here in this blip? Why did people all of a sudden start talking about Ford more and then all of a sudden drop and start talking about Chevy more? And why are more of these comments negative? Well, what you're able to do, instead of zooming in and out now, you're able to use these buttons to go more towards the data or more towards the chart. We'll stick right here in the middle so you can see both. If you have that question, now you're able to come into this data point right at the top of this conversation and click on it, and up will pop that specific person and the feed and the comment they made when this conversation started to make a turn. So you can analyze this and say, what did they say that made this happen? Now let's say you read this and it wasn't just this one data point. Maybe you can see he's replying to something else, and this conversation obviously built over time. As soon as you move your mouse off of this data point, it will go away. And now you're able to come into this whole area and say, well, it's not just that one, it must be a few of these. You're able to hold down the Shift key and start clicking on different comments. And you'll notice that they start turning white in the background, and a new window showed up. And right now what this window does, it just shows you the data point ID or the circle ID and the user ID. Obviously what I can do with that is now go back into the database, pull out the conversations so you can see the whole stream of conversations that happened around the specific point to see what happened or what made this decision happen. Now let's say while you're reading this you see a certain person, person 7, you see that they had some very good points and you want to follow what that person said. Well, now what you're able to do is come back into the chart, and now you could just click on the data point again if you'd like, or you can hold down the Control key and click on that data point, and now you'll see everywhere within that conversation this person has made input. Now the advantage to this is you can see very quickly if this person's more of this person's comments fell on the Chevy side of the conversation or fell on the Ford side of the conversation. You'd be able to see if more of their data points fell in negative areas versus positive areas. You could also see if they're a key opinion leader to see if most of their data data points showed up specifically around where the chart changed direction, whether it was up or down. And in fact, you can see key opinion leaders a couple different ways. This is one way where you can see where they're falling and where they may lean. The other one is just to show all of the, there we we go, all of the users. So right now I can come in here and say show all users. Click on this, and now you'll see all the different users in this conversation appear in different colors. You can see if one person sticks out more than any other. And in fact, that is one of the ways to look at key opinion leaders. I can show my user array. So now you can see who talks more, and I can also say show most active. And if I click on this, you're going to see it goes back to the blue chart, and this is the person who is most active and where they fall along the chart. And in fact, one of my questions to you, if you notice, if you come in here, and let's hide that array. Actually, let me show you. All the windows here you're able to move around. So you can move this around. The conversations you're able to move around. Let's say you clicked on this data point specifically, and you'll notice it gets hidden by this control panel here at the top. You're able to move this out of the way so you can read what you need to read and move it back. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me, or click right here on the watch demo video again, and I'll just bring this video up again. I look forward to seeing what your responses are. Hope all's good, and hope to talk to you soon.